Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, 1981's Fast Cars, Fast Women. Fast Cars, Fast Women. There it is from 1981. This is actually part of a Vinegar Syndrome Peakorama Big 2 unit show that has two films on it. Starship Eros is the other film, which I already have a review on this YouTube page. But for tonight's purpose, we are looking at this one. Fast Cars, Fast Women. There's the poster right there. And we have some artwork, or we have some screenshots on the back for this particular film. We have those right there. And this is a really unique entry into the adult world. If you ever thought that X-rated cinema could only be what you thought it could be, Fast Cars, Fast Women will definitely do more of an effort to push you away from the stereotypes that you think and to really show you the beauty of adult cinema, 70s, 80s, and this is 1981. This was directed by Scott McHaley, who also directed Starship Eros. That's why they put these two together. This film is 77 minutes long. And we do have a couple people in here that you might recognize from the X-rated world in the golden age. Such people as Kay Parker, Ron Jeremy, of course, and we have a couple other people in here as well that I don't necessarily know their names, but I love them. This girl with really puffy hair, this brunette, and then this blonde girl who is right here. So let's get into Fast Cars, Fast Women, because this is really something special. We have a racing competition. We have revenge, vengeance. We have crime, we have murder, and we have race cars. Folks, this is Fast Cars, Fast Women. If you ever thought that, if you like exploitation cinema, you heard a couple of the things I just said, crime, vengeance. If you like exploitation cinema and you meld exploitation cinema with real story and with sex cinema, you have something very, very unique, which is Fast Cars, Fast Women, 1981. First and foremost, let's look at the music for this film. I have some notes here, so you might see my eyes divert. We have a live band playing country music at some, old-time bar. The theme song, there is an actual theme song for this movie that speaks of the title. We have exploitation grooves, deep funk grooves, sexy music, electric guitar, saxophone, moody, atmospheric music, and fun exploitation horns and kind of stings. This is such an awesome amalgam of great score music, great soundtrack music, and you can see the effort and the energy and the work that went into making the soundscapes for Fast Cars, Fast Women. If you like exploitation films, my gosh, you're going to love the soundtrack for this film. Stylistically, in this movie, there is a lot going on. As I mentioned earlier on, we have really this unbelievable meld of exploitation cinema meeting adult cinema and sexploitation cinema, and really kind of mixing these two together into this unique beast. I have a couple things here that I wrote down that I thought were interesting. We have an insane ejaculation edit that's edited with racing stock footage. Yes, it happens in this particular film. Also, look out for an outfit, a costume in this movie that I believe is from Starship Eros, which I mentioned earlier on here. We have fight scenes in this movie that are violent and rough and actually pretty damn well done, and definitely high in the exploitation category. Yeah, some fight scenes. Ron Jeremy's even in on some of those fight scenes. As I mentioned, we have car racing in this movie, which is a big integral part of the storyline. Crime, exploitation, but we also have comedy. We have an RV camper in this film that is utilized as part of the story. We have an attempted rape. We have, kind of in the story, we have the new girl on the racing squad. We have, kind of some interesting. This is such an interesting film because without the sex scenes, without the real sex scenes, this would be looked at as like an exploitation film, a cool exploitation film. So very interesting. There's lots of dialogue in this movie, and that's why I say that. There's lots of dialogue. There's lots of story. There's bad guys versus good guys. Definitely a story element, and a friendly desire to pass the time with sex. There's masturbation. There's lesbian, orgy, showering, oral. It's all here. Now we also, the interesting thing is that we have softcore vibes running throughout Fast Cars, Fast Women. There are softcore vibes running through this movie, but there's also hardcore as well. The hardcore vibes as well. We do have close-ups in this movie, fades within sex, like with an ejaculation shot. We have kind of a teasing camera in this movie. Kind of in a particular room or an area where the sex is happening. It's kind of moving around the room. It's kind of moving around the corners. And then you're in. Then you're there. Then you're in the sex scene. So the camera is kind of doing kind of introductory teasing to the viewer with the sex scenes very creatively and very interestingly, as it should be done. The sex scenes aren't long in this movie, and even I had the question, and this definitely does happen sometimes, but it seemed like some of the sex scenes might have been simulated as well. So we had hardcore footage and also some simulated footage as well. So sometimes that does happen, and it's interesting when it does happen. The close-ups in the sex scenes in this film kind of resemble stylistically the way insert shots look. Although I would, say everything was, real here and done with the actors that we're watching, but it has the style of what insert shots would look like. The girls look great in this movie. As I mentioned earlier, we have different ages, different body types, lots of diversity in the body types, especially with a diversity in the boobs in this film and the breast sizes, from Kay Parker to the skinnier blonde in the movie. Fast Cars, Fast Women was such a unique experience for me because while I was watching the movie, of course, I was engaged in the sex. I was engaged in the storyline. I was engaged in kind of the really manic, awesome pacing and ebbs and flows and wildness of the movie. And 50% of the time, I thought I was watching an exploitation film, and then I would be reminded that I was watching an X-rated film as well. Such style, such effort and diversity. This is a really engaging movie. I mean, like as I said before, if you like exploitation cinema, you're gonna have a good time with this one. And this is a case where if you're introducing somebody to kind of X-rated, non-simulated sex scene cinema, this might be a good one if they're already into exploitation cinema. Lots to have fun with in this movie and enjoy and maybe laugh at and things like that. And I just thought it was a really well done piece. And when the movie was over, I felt like I watched a non-X-rated movie. It was really interesting. Lots of twists and turns in the storyline and a unique kind of racing car exploitation storyline as well. And it says on the back of the DVD, "Welcome to the erotic world of female race car drivers." And we have sleazy mobsters and a tough coach and vengeance. It's all in here, folks. Fast Cars, Fast Women. Cool poster. I don't believe that girl is in the movie, though. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarre YouTube page, where I talk about films like 1981's Fast Cars, Fast Women that I believe need to be talked about more. This great looking film, and it was shot on 35 millimeter. Yes, folks, 35 millimeter. Thank you so much, folks, and have a great night.